Hi everyone, I hope that you are doing well. In this video, I'm going to be talking to you about loving people from a distance and how it is entirely possible to love someone very deeply and still make the choice to remove them from your life and not be in an active connection with them. And I think that this is an important topic to talk about, especially just with boundaries being such a conversation nowadays, cutting people off, this kind of idea of just being swift with it to remove people from your life. And I'm not here to advocate for cutting somebody off without giving that choice any thought and time and consideration and effort. I think that relationships, and I'm not just talking about romantic relationships. Like, I don't like that the word relationships tends to be synonymous with romance. I'm just talking about all human relationships. I see relationships as the most important aspect of life, and if we don't have relationships with one another, then what do we really have? But that doesn't mean that it's not also incredibly important to be able to discern when a relationship has served its time and needs to leave your life, or when a relationship is no longer safe and you need to remove yourself from the connection for your own health or peace. There's many reasons why we choose to leave relationships, and I think that we should always do so with a high level of thought and consideration and effort. Like I mentioned, I know for myself, I have to really try to get to a point where I'm like, okay, I have to really let this go. Personally, I'm not someone who has tons of relationships and connections with people. I don't form relationships super easily. I tend to have fewer amounts of relationships that I view as very deep and high quality, and that's just how I connect with people. And so when I make the choice to bring someone into my life, into my heart, and I offer them my time, my consideration, my energy, that's a big deal for me. And so for me to get to the point where I'm going to choose to remove someone from my life, remove my energy, my time, my consideration towards them, that means that I've really understood that the relationship is either harming me or depleting me in some way, or is just not a net positive experience. And the point within that is that I just want to say that when we make that choice to remove someone from our life experience and close the relationship or put a pause on it, or whatever it is that you're just removing it from this moment in time, from your life, like in an active way, that doesn't mean that you don't love that person anymore, that the love just goes away and you don't care, and it's this like cold thing of I cut people off and I don't care. And that's not it at all. You can remove people from your life with the utmost amount of love, and you can do that in a considerate and conscious way. And it's actually really important to learn how to do that, and to know that you don't have to be in an active connection or relationship with someone in order to love someone. There are so many people from my life experience that I have walked away from, that I love so deeply, and I will always love so deeply, because I'm loving these people on a heart level, on a soul level. And I can also recognize that on a mind and human level, us being in connection doesn't serve our health and well-being. and that's okay. And that doesn't mean that I don't love them. I can walk away, and I can also hold that love in my heart. Two truths can exist at once, and I think that that's a really hard thing to swallow. And I think it's really easy to remove someone from our life, or even someone remove us from their life, and it turned into this thing of like, oh, I can't stand that person, or even I hate them, or it really doesn't have, I mean, if that's your process, like sometimes that's the process where you feel like you hate them or you don't like them, and you have to move through those feelings. But it doesn't have to be that. In the long term, you can absolutely love a person and keep them far from you. You can love a person's heart and soul and know that how they show up in their behavior in this present moment is simply not good for you, is simply not healthy, is simply not what you deserve, perhaps. And you can make the choice to lovingly cut them off, remove them from your life. And if you so come across them again in the future and discern that it is healthy and it is safe for you to reconnect with them, then you can do that. But that's not always the case either. And I just think it's really important to deeply understand that you don't have to be in an active connection with someone who you loved or you used to be in connection with in order to still hold deep love and even respect for them. And I'm learning this more and more, even just having to decide to release certain family members from my life experience, because you have to reach a point where you allow your wisdom to inform you who is truly safe and nourishing for you in your life and who is not. And on that topic, when it comes to family members, I just really want to say, and this is something that I have had to say to myself and to learn, and I'm still integrating, is just because someone is your family, whether it's your parent or a sibling or whoever, doesn't mean that they have special privileges to treat you shitty, or hurt you or harm you or whatever it is that is resulting in an unhealthy dynamic or situation. And I know that that's like easier said than understood, but it's true. Just because someone is your mother, your father, your brother, your sister, your aunt, your uncle, your whoever, doesn't mean that they're in this special position to treat you less than you deserve. In fact, I think those people have the biggest responsibility to show up in the highest level of love. And a lot of us have family members who are limited in their capacity to offer love or respect or consideration, and that's their journey, and that's one thing. But your thing is prioritizing yourself and your health and your well-being, and it's very necessary to deeply understand that you don't owe anyone your love in an active way where you're giving of yourself on a daily or weekly or monthly basis or whatever. You can remove people from your life and you can still love them. You can still think of them with reverence. You can say prayers for them if you want. That's your own process of trying to understand how to come to terms with having so much love in your heart for someone and it not being healthily possible or doable to be actively giving them that love in a relational context. And that's really hard, and there is deep pain and deep grief with that, but I'm not gonna go into the deep pain and the deep grief process in this video. I just want to get it across that you can love from a distance, and sometimes that's the most healthy thing that you could ever possibly do for yourself and even for the other person. And you'll know in your heart, deep in your heart, when a relationship has served its time or has impacted you or harmed you to the extent that the only option is for it to leave your life, for that person to be removed from your heart in an active sense. And you just have to allow yourself to accept that truth when it comes to you, because we know what we need. We just have a hard time owning that sometimes. So yeah, no matter who it is, whether it's a partner, a friend, your mother, your father, your whoever, it doesn't matter who they are, what position they hold in your life, you view it as more special or important. They are just another person who needs to treat you with love and respect. And if they can't do that and you deem that that's negatively impactful for your system, then you have every right to walk away and to love them from a distance, love them energetically rather than in this active way, and having a grounded relationship with them. You don't have to do that if it's not safe and healthy for you. And you know what you need and who you need in your life and who you don't need in your life. And I know it's tough, but it's important to trust yourself. So I just wanted to get this message across today, and I hope it lands soft in your heart, and I pray that you have a lovely day or night whenever you listen to this.